Welcome back to the Ivy Unleashed podcast. Today is a solo episode with moi, Brooke. Andrea is currently at the lake. Happy 4th of July. I am in her house all by myself. I feel like I could get into a lot of trouble here, which is kind of exciting. But man, I miss her. An empty chair just doesn't feel right. But today, I'm excited to talk one-on-one with you all with a little life update. You see, we have officially hit single digits until my wedding. My wedding is 8 days away. And when I feel like most brides would be freaking out, I am maybe the calmest I've ever been in the last decade. And it's because of what I want to talk to you about today. So single digits to my wedding, but I've hit double digits in the carnivore diet. I have alluded to this a few times in the past few episodes, just kind of mentioning it. I've experimented with it a few different times, but I've never really followed through. And before I dive into what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, what's helping, I want to preface that this is not medical advice. This is my story, my journey. And after a decade of dealing with terrible gut issues, skin, mood, fatigue, you name it, this is the best I felt in a decade. And it might be placebo, but I don't care because I'm rolling with it. So, carnivore diet. Why the carnivore diet? When you deal with chronic illness, you are constantly looking for something. You are grabbing onto anything. You are willing to try anything in the hopes that it makes you feel better. If you've listened to this podcast for a while, you know all of the things that I have tried. Coffee enemas, thousands upon thousands of dollars on functional medicine. And I always kept going back to this one truth that when I eat minimal carbs, I feel my best. And over the years, my diet has become more restrictive. And I have had so many different tests done, and nothing really, quote unquote, cures it. Now, I've explored, especially this past year with it being my wedding, I feel like I've really taken it serious because things have gotten so hectic. Doing Gold Ivy, working a corporate job, planning a wedding, I have hit highs and lows, and it wasn't until my bridal shower this past month that I decided, all right, enough is enough. I prayed on it. I kept coming back to this truth of, you feel better on the carnivore diet. However, one caveat, getting there is tough. Your body, which I'll get into, goes through what's known as the keto flu, where you're literally withdrawing and getting rid of carbs from your body. You're eliminating all carbs. And like I mentioned, I had been playing with this in the past, but I really couldn't commit. And after my bridal shower, I had more sugar than I've had in a while. I had a sip or two of champagne, and I felt terrible. Not just physically, but mentally. My skin was breaking out, and I don't know about you listening, but a month before your wedding, when you're breaking out in hives, you're breaking out in acne, I was like, oh, hell no. This will not be my story. This will not be how I enter my wedding. And so Andrea left for Florida for her daughter's dance competition with her whole family. And I knew, okay, this is going to be a lighter week. Now is the time that I fully commit and I just rip off the Band-Aid. A lot of times things have to get worse before they get better. And I think the keto flu, it holds a lot of people back from how good they could feel because you do have to get over that hump. So based on my experience, knowing how my body feels, my digestion was terrible. My skin, terrible. My mood, terrible. My bowel movements, terrible. I'm like, this literally, like, if it gets worse, it's already bad. So let's just try it. Who cares? Now is the time if I can hunker down. And so I utilized pretty much everything I've learned in the last decade to get me through this quote unquote keto carnivore flu. And I want to get into that with you today. So basically what the carnivore diet does is you eliminate all carbs. You are eating animal food. You are eating meat, eggs, and you're eating high fat. So when you get rid of the carbs, your body needs fuel. And so instead of running on carbs, it's running on fat. So think of the fat from eggs, from high fat meat like steak and burgers like beef, tallow, ghee, butter, and it needs a lot of salt. So I had done my research. I'd played with this before. And with me, I need a hard line. It can't be a slow, I'm going to just slowly eliminate. It can't be, I'll have this sometimes. I've learned this over the last decade with myself, with alcohol, with gluten, with dairy, is I do best if I have a hard and fast line, a no in my brain, because what that does is it removes the decision making. It removes that decision fatigue of, should I? Can't I? And what we know about carbs and sugar is the more you eat it, the more you crave it. So if you can completely eliminate it from your diet, you don't have cravings. I'm on day 11 of no carbs. I do not even think about carbs. And this is something I want to get into because I've spent the last decade, and I'm going to probably say that so many times, so I apologize ahead of time, but obsessing over food. Obsessing of how is this going to make me feel? What can I eat when I go out places? What if they don't have what I need? Do I even know what I need? I cannot figure this out. Just the mental fatigue that it brought me. And Andrea's probably watching and editing this like, yes, like she's sick of me talking about it, and I'm sick of me talking about it. There comes a time when you get sick enough of your own bullshit that you'll do something about it. And the only thing I knew to do and go all in on was the carnivore. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. And so what I did to help was a few things, and I want to go through that, was I gave myself a lot of grace. For the first time in a long time, I allowed myself to fully be tired, to be okay with not rushing and checking things off a list, reminding myself that this was temporary and that this was going to give me what I wanted. Instead of the instant gratification of reaching for the carbs, it was that delayed gratification that I was after. There also came a little brainwashing. Now let me explain. What you focus on, you get more of. So when you're feeling not so great, your brain will play tricks on you. It'll say, you are starving yourself. This is so unhealthy. This is going to lead to binge eating. This is going to lead to body dysmorphia. This is going to lead to an eating disorder. Are you kidding me? How could you be so stupid? These are the things that are going on in my head. So to quiet that, to shut up that monkey mind, I filled my brain with YouTube, with videos and stories of people that have had success on the carnivore diet, with tips and tricks. So some things that really helped me over these last 11 days was Dr. Ken Berry. He's got a YouTube channel on carnivore. There's a few different ones I really liked that I can't remember the names of, but literally if you just type in carnivore on YouTube, you will find all of the things. Laura Spath is another one that I really like. And what I liked about these individuals' approach is it wasn't so strict. I mean, the carnivore diet is strict in itself. However, they allowed room for being human. They said, this is a lifestyle. It isn't a diet. It's a decision. You wake up every day and you make that decision of, I'm going to do one more day on carnivore. I'm not thinking about the next 60 days, 100 days. I'm getting through just today, and I'm going to focus on the benefits that I noticed. So within the first few days, my stomach pain gone. I had no bloating. Within the next few days, I felt this insane sense of calm, of peace. I had these spiritual, I don't even know what to call it, honestly. I never felt closer to God. I wanted to listen to gospel music. I wanted to go to church. I felt this fatigue as I was going through the keto flu, but I had this pep in my step, which was really hard to explain, of I don't want to just sit at home. I actually want to exercise. I know that moving my body is going to get me in a fat burning mode quicker. And I felt like this weight of depression was just completely lifted off of me, which if you've dealt with depression, you know that feeling of, I just want to go to bed. I just want to sleep. I was talking to Ian last night and I said, I get made fun of wanting to go to bed by 8 p.m. and saying, I can't wait to be horizontal. And the truth is, that's because I don't feel good. I don't want to have to say those things. I don't want that to be my personality. But when you don't feel good, all you can think about is, I need to be horizontal because I'm in so much gut pain after everything I eat. And I'm so effing tired. I'm struggling to get through the day. That 3 p.m. crash, that needing for coffee that I talk about all the time of, I can't quit caffeine because I'm so tired. That was my motivation for wanting to try carnivore. I am down to 100, max 150 milligrams of caffeine a day. You guys, that is unheard of for me. This way of eating is the only thing that has helped me limit and reduce my caffeine intake while feeling more energized. This is my experience. I'm just speaking my truth, what I'm noticing, but it is wild. So taking inventory on how I'm feeling, writing down those benefits, tracking those benefits of, okay, how is my energy? What am I noticing that's going well? Because as I was tired, as my bowel movements were shifting, I would have like a little gurgling. I was really nauseous, but I realized, okay, I was eating too much fat at first. I needed to give my body time to adapt. So I'm learning a lot about my body in a different way, learning a lot about my digestion. And I'm not thinking about, okay, how am I feeling sick? What's going wrong with this diet? I am fully focusing my brain on what am I noticing? What is going well? And I'm feeding that. I'm feeding those feelings with constantly thinking about it. Anytime my brain goes negative, I'm purposely redirecting it to what am I noticing that's going well? And when I feel really low, I'm putting in that YouTube video. I'm getting specific with what I'm looking at. And it's working. I'm also spending a lot of time on Reddit, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but that has been helpful. So this idea of brainwashing, I'm here for. I am here for it. So videos, Dr. Ken Berry, Laura Spath, they also have Instagrams that I recommend. Now, this is a fun one. Something I'm doing to help me get through is I'm rewarding myself. $10 a day, something I want that I feel like is a reward. I bought this $50 lip gloss yesterday. Yep, I did. And you know what? I love it. I freaking love it. And I saved every day $10 and I got the lip gloss and man, I'm so glad I did. It's the lip oil replenisher by Revision. You're welcome. It's the best. And it made me excited. And I feel like I'm doing something so good for myself. I'm doing something so incredibly hard that is going to pay off. I deserve to reward myself. I mentioned I'm also tracking the symptoms. Here are the symptoms I'm specifically tracking. My gut health in general, my anxiety, my skin, my mood, my energy, my bowel movements, and my bloating. And I can confidently say that all those things in 11 days have significantly improved. My mindset, I'm just being curious and allowing myself to take it slow through my day instead of rushing. Like I said, I'm viewing it as a lifestyle and not a diet. But more importantly, I'm just taking it day by day. I think that has been the biggest thing. I'm living in the moment. I'm right here, right now. I've seen things improve on my Oura Ring, like my HRV, which is how your body handles stress, how resilient your body is. And that, for the longest time, has been in the low 20s. A healthy HRV is 80 to 100. I was in the low 20s. That has doubled. It's been the highest it's been since I've got the Oura Ring, which is really exciting. My sleep has been great. The first night or so, a couple nights, I would wake up in the middle of the night, but I'd fall back asleep. I think it's only improved. I've gotten to bed a lot faster. I don't need melatonin. That has been helpful. And I know all of these are compounding. Like the fact that I'm drinking less caffeine is helping me sleep better. The fact that I'm getting more movement in is helping. But the biggest change is this diet. This is something fun that I just started. I printed off a physical calendar, and I recommend this for any goal. I printed off a physical calendar on my fridge, so I'm seeing that every day. Every morning I wake up, I check it off, I write the next day on the day, and it's motivating, it's empowering, and it's somewhere that I see it where it's constantly in my face. And I had Ian print it off for me. Having him a part of this is everything. Sharing my experience with him last night, I told him, like, I'm so glad I'm doing this. This is the best decision ever. And I might look crazy from the outside, but I want to stay out. I want to do new things with you. This weekend and last weekend, busy weekends before our wedding, but we're experiencing and doing new things. I want to go to a 4th of July parade tomorrow instead of being anxious about what if I don't feel good. Like, that is freeing. If anyone listening has dealt with chronic illness or you know someone, it is debilitating. And just having these little glimmers of like what normal feels like, it's amazing. So I hope this gives you hope as you're listening. And if not you, someone else in your life. There is so much research and people's testimonies behind this that I think when you're in such a low, you have nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing. It is such a good reset for your body. So some reasons that I haven't mentioned yet why I went carnivore is that freedom of not having to think about food, not having to think about everything, being anxious. I would hear these testimonies of people who their skin cleared up, anxiety and depression just aren't a part of their life. They're taking no supplements. They're on no medication. They have an insane amount of energy. My word for this year is energy. And it is improving, and I'm so grateful. And once I got over that hump, let me tell you, I feel like every day it's just better and better. And I'm also brainwashing myself maybe to believe that. But I think it's the mindset plus the carnivore way of eating is everything. It's everything. It's everything. Clarity. I'm like coming in and out of these insane moments of just mental clarity of I'm not anxious about a decision I have to make, whether it be something with the wedding or our future. I am just experiencing a lot of gratitude. I'm noticing things around me, things I drive by every day. I'm like, oh, those flowers are so pretty. I feel like my brain is healthy. And the bad bacteria in my gut, it's no longer robbing me of these amazing feelings of hope and bliss and peace and fun. It's crazy. I'm telling you guys, this is nuts. The fact that I don't have any cravings when I would eat carbs, and I'm talking healthy carbs. I'm talking 0 sugar yogurt. I'm talking 0 sugar granola, fruits, veggies. Like, I felt like I ate an insanely healthy diet before this, but I still was all sorts of messed up. I didn't want to spend any more money on testing, on functional medicine, on supplements. Like, I want a house. I want a forever home where I can have babies. I want babies. I want the designer bag. I do not want to spend money on supplements and testing and all of this stuff that I didn't feel like were going to work anymore. I felt like it got me up to a certain point, and I'm not trying to dismiss that. I love functional medicine. I believe in it. But it just wasn't taking me to the 100 that I knew I wanted to be at. I've watched so many videos of people saying that they don't take any supplements. Their blood work is insane. They struggled with years of infertility and they finally got pregnant. They struggled with endometriosis, which I think I have, and just these crazy autoimmune. One girl, 10 different immune disorders and diseases, and completely cured. Like, you can't make this stuff up, right? It's out there. And I think the hearing people's stories was enough for me to say, okay, again, I have nothing, absolutely nothing to lose. As I'm watching these videos, something that I keep looking for is, okay, tell me exactly what it's helped with. Tell me exactly how you did it, what you're eating. I don't think there's one approach to this that works for everyone. So with me, what I'm doing is I'm being very in tune with my body, looking for support and tweaking as necessary. So the needing electrolytes in the beginning, that was one thing I heard, was that can help with literally everything, with dizziness, mood swings, feeling fatigued, lethargic, dizziness, yada, yada. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get the raw element packets, 1 a day. I think that has been very helpful. The feeling of nausea and like kind of acid refluxy, loose stools. I'm like, okay, through my research, watching these videos, I know my body needs time to adapt to that level of high fat. So I'm going to take it back. Immediately helped. And I'm probably going to continue to tweak it. Magnesium at night, shout out Smidge. That has been helping. That's something that I've always done. What a typical day of eating has looked like for me, and that I think has been really helpful. I don't experience really any insane cravings or like that uncomfortable, insatiable hunger. I feel so full after my meals. And this is something that I brought up to Andrea before my bachelorette party. And if you heard that episode, she brought me bacon on the beach because I had eggs and bacon. And for the first time in a long time, I felt full after my meal. And I'm like, there's something to this. So every day what I've been doing, I wake up and for the first time, I'm having food before coffee. I used to wake up immediately need caffeine. This is big. Okay. So I wake up and I have 3 scrambled eggs. I have 2 chicken sausage patties, and I have a lot of Himalayan sea salt on there. And then I just started adding a spoonful of tallow, which is fat, to the eggs, and you can't really even taste it. Now that I'm feeling like a little more fat adapted, I feel like I can add in more fat. So the ratios that they recommend is like 70-30. 70% of your calories and your macros are coming from fat, 30 are coming from protein. So I kind of calculated what that would look like just so that I know I'm eating enough, because they say there comes a time where you are fat adapted and you're just not hungry because you're getting so much from the foods you're eating. It's incredibly satiating. And people can struggle with undereating, and that's where low energy can come into play. I feel like I have underate for a while just because everything would hurt my stomach. So I feel like I'm finally absorbing what I'm eating, which is amazing. Anyways, okay, so that's a typical breakfast. I feel like I'm getting on tangents here. Just excuse me, I'm excited. So chicken sausage, eggs, little bit of tallow, and a lot of salt. Heavy on the salt, but good salts. Himalayan sea salts, Celtic sea salts. That's a typical breakfast. I have that at 6:37 a.m. That lasts me until noon, which is unheard of. Like I cannot believe that. I'm full, I'm energized until noon. That at noon, I'll have 2 80-20 beef patties. Target has a 10-pack of grass-fed beef patties for $12. I thought this way of eating would be so expensive, and it's actually proving to be the opposite, which I'm also very impressed by. So I'll have 2 beef patties and 3 slices of thick cut, gotta be the thick cut, as Andrea knows, for the fat content. 3 pieces of thick cut bacon. And that tastes so good. And then I salt it. I have found that having 2 different meats, and this is something that I heard Laura Spath talk about that I can relate to, and I've grabbed from her, so thank you, Laura. Having 2 quote unquote meats per meal gives me enough, like where I'm feeling like I'm having variety. I feel like I'm having some sides. It sounds crazy, but it's working. So that's a typical lunch, beef patties, bacon. That lasts me till right now, like 3 o'clock, when I'm like, ooh, I kind of want a snack. And I feel like that's just because for years that has been my snack time. I think the more that I carry on with this diet, a lot of people just eat 2 meals. I've heard a lot of people talk about for women, they recommend 3 meals. I'm going to find what works for me. Right now, I'm thinking 3 meals because I have been in such a state of fight or flight where I don't want to fast because I want to support my hormones. And that's also something that the high fat does. It's really, really good for our hormones is what I'm learning. So for dinner, or at 3 o'clock, I'll have a snack. I'll have 2 beef sticks, the Chomps beef sticks. That satisfies me until dinner, which is a few hours later. And that I've been kind of having different things. Last night I had hot Italian sausage with shrimp. That was really good. I'll typically have a cup of ground beef and maybe some more bacon or some tallow or some ghee. At the beginning, I would put ghee in my coffee. And that anytime you add hot fat to liquid, it can make you go to the bathroom. So I learned to back off on that. And I've been doing for my caffeine intake espresso in hot water. So kind of like an Americano. But what I really have been liking about that is I can slowly have less and less of the espresso. So I started with 3 tablespoons, which is equivalent to 100 milligrams, like a cup of coffee. Then I went down to 2, then 1 tablespoon, which is 3 teaspoons. Then I went down to 2 teaspoons, 1 teaspoon. So slowly cutting back on that. I tried to go cold turkey on both the caffeine and the carbs. Would not recommend. That was not for me. Maybe for you, but I was like, I'm going to allow my body to slowly adjust. And that has been very, very helpful. So that's a typical day of eating for me. That's been working great. When I go out to restaurants, I know every restaurant has meat. So I don't feel like I can't eat out. I can't enjoy. I had a ribeye on Saturday that was massive and I think maybe a little too much. And the waiter, of course, gave Ian the sandwich or gave Ian the ribeye and me the sandwich. And I was like, nope, switch it on up. And it's been very surprisingly fantastic. So that is my update for you all on the carnivore diet. I think finding what works for you, I've said this forever and I will continue to preach it. But I also think when you find something that works for you, it is your responsibility to share it with the world because we live in a society that is drowned out by unhealthy food and by illness. And there is no money in health. There is a lot of money in sickness. You go to the doctor, you get a medication. Cutting out carbs is hard because everywhere you look, there's fast food, the sugar, it's addicting. It's more addicting than crack cocaine. And once you know this, you can't unknow it. And I've learned that through my journey too. The more I educate myself, the more I think twice about the decisions that I make. I learn how my brain works, that it needs to be rewarded. It needs to be super simple. I need support. I need to voice this out loud so that it becomes a reality. It's just like if you are going to run a marathon, share it with someone because then it's real. People put it on the internet because then they're held accountable. And speaking of the internet, there's a lot of controversy around the carnivore diet. There are people that have done it, built entire businesses around it, and then said, actually, that didn't work for me anymore. And I think that's A-okay. I think what works for you in this season of life may not work for you 5 years from now, and that's okay. I've also heard people's stories and women who have been on carnivore for 13 years, have had healthy pregnancies, have had pregnancies on and off carnivore, and their experience on carnivore was a lot healthier and better. They have nursed babies on carnivore. And that to me is all I need to really hear to think, okay, if people can get pregnant and nurse babies and have healthy babies on carnivore, like I think this is safe. If I ever feel like I'm not experiencing benefits, I don't have to do this. This is my choice, my free will. And having that mindset has been extremely helpful. I don't have to do this because I'm sick. I'm not being a victim. I'm choosing to do this. I'm choosing to look at these benefits and to clock these benefits and to share these benefits. And I think with anything, the more you start to feel better, you want to keep feeling better. Our coach, Catherine, would always say, the better it gets, the better it gets. As I'm 30 days in, maybe I'll want to reintroduce fruit. Maybe I'll want to go back to a different way and slowly reintroduce. Or maybe I'll say, damn, I'm feeling really good. How else can I feel better? What other benefits can I notice? And I'm okay being a little crazy. I don't care what people think of me. If I did, I probably wouldn't be sitting here sharing my entire life with the world. But there comes a time when you struggle long enough that you are willing to make some radical decisions. And it just so happens that a month before my wedding, I was like, this is not how I'm going to spend what should be the best day of my life. And I'm excited. And if anyone listening to this is struggling with their health, with autoimmune, with gut, I think diet is really underrated. It's, yes, important, and your mindset around it is important, and exercise is important, and everything is a piece to the puzzle. But I'm just learning what you feed your body matters. And if you don't feel good right now, you do not have to stay stuck. I struggled a long time sharing on this podcast and like being hopeful. And also I got away from gut health coaching because I didn't feel like I was 100%. I felt like if I couldn't get myself fully healed, I wasn't worthy of helping other people. Now I know that's not true, but something in me wanted me to feel better so that I had some conviction when I was sharing, when I was offering advice and support. And so that holds true today, that I'm continuing to learn and to tweak. And I'm not saying that this is the end all be all, the cure for all. I just want to share that I'm really excited about something that is making such a difference for me, in the hopes that maybe you get inspired, maybe you want to learn more, you want to share this with a family member that is really struggling, because there is hope. There is absolutely hope. I hope you took something away from this episode. My 3 gold stars for this episode would be: 1, don't give up. Do not give up. You might feel like there is no hope. You have tried it all. You have done it all. Keep searching. I had this nudge of try carnivore, try it again, follow through, fully commit. I prayed on it. I kept hearing it. And that nudge just kept getting louder and louder. And I do believe it will keep getting louder for you until you listen. So what is that one thing? Is it removing alcohol? Is it spending more time with your family versus work? You know, maybe it's not carnivore or diet related. Maybe it's something else. So what is that nudge that you need to listen to that will allow you to not give up? Number 2, keep doing the research. If something is intriguing to you, learn more about it. Flood your mind with it. It's a lot easier to follow through. And maybe that is getting rid of alcohol, cutting back on carbs, stopping fast food, eating a little better. Doesn't have to be a complete shift to carnivore, but maybe it is just eating some more foods that you know make you feel good, eating less foods that you know make you feel like shit. So don't give up on yourself. Keep doing the research and be open to trying something radical. Be curious with yourself. Be open. I have shared this quote many times, specifically in my yoga classes. That's something I didn't even bring up. Teaching, I feel so clear and in the zone. I feel on fire when I'm teaching, and that is priceless. Like the fact that a way of eating can make your craft feel so much better and on fire, and your business, like, you're welcome, Andrea. But no, that is a benefit that I have noticed too, that I just wanted to share. So as I wrap up, this is a quote that I always share in my classes and I have on this podcast, and it doesn't matter what it looks like. It matters what it feels like. Doesn't matter how silly it looks. It doesn't matter if it's not the exact same as the woman next to you or your coworker or your husband or whoever. What matters is how it feels to you, and you honor that and you protect that. So as I leave you today, doesn't matter what it looks like, matters what it feels like. Thank you for listening to this rant. I am excited to see what these next 11 days have in store. And thank you for being a part of this journey. This is Gold Ivy signing off. Listen to your truth and go chase your gold.